everybody, it's Christina and welcome back to my library. In today's episode, I am going to be discussing series that I either gave up on or didn't really like. Now, I do just want to point out before I start this list, these are just series that I personally didn't like or just didn't finish for another reason. If you did like these series, it's nothing against you. These are just my own personal opinions. All but one of these series are actually YA. I'm actually starting to find as I get a little older, I have less of an interest in reading YA and I have a harder time connecting to the characters. I haven't been a young adult in a very long time. I'm in my mid-30s, so it's hard for me to really connect to young adult characters. So I think that's probably why a lot of these ended up on this list. And it is really nothing against the books themselves. Most of them are actually pretty well written. It's just that me, personally, I have a hard time connecting to these characters. And when I don't connect to characters, it's hard for me to really stay motivated in reading it. So that's why most of these are on this list. But I do have a couple of exceptions here. So I will, go over everything as I go and, let you know why I'm not going to be continuing this series. I guess I should probably call this series that I'm not going to continue. It's not necessarily that I don't like them. It's just that I don't have a desire to continue them, with the exception of one that I didn't like. But anyway, let's get started with this. So I'm going to start things off with the only series that I actually still have a physical copy of a book for, and that is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. This is I guess you could call it a new adult series, and I am holding up I think this is the 5th book in the series. I don't remember. I actually did make it quite a ways into this series. Oh no, maybe this is the 6th book. Well, anyway, I made it up to this book. I actually did read all of the others, and I rated them like a 4, sometimes a 3. One of them I gave a 2. I can't remember which one it was. Air Fire? There's one of them that I didn't like. But I would say that this series is not necessarily a series that I didn't like per se. It's just that I started feeling like maybe I'm just not the right age range for this anymore. And I'm not. I mean, I'm not a young adult. So, there were a lot of things that character-wise that annoyed me. I really do not like Selena. So I don't know. I guess everything that kind of happened within this series, I kind of just lost interest. It had been about a year between reading this book and whichever one came prior to that. Something of Storms, Empire of Storms. I think it was Empire of Storms. I liked Empire of Storms. I think I gave it like a 4. But it had been a year since I tried to read this, or until I tried to read this, and I forgot everything. And usually when I forget everything in a book, like I don't have the best memory, but when I forget everything, it means that it's just not holding my interest anymore. And that's kind of what happened with this. I didn't even finish it. I DNF'd it. I didn't even get very far. So I didn't even score it because it just kind of didn't follow anything. Now, that being said, because the other part of this episode is going to be me possibly saying whether or not I plan to give a series a second chance. This one is a possibility, only because I do kind of want to see where it ends. I got so far in it. Yes, I forgot most of it, but I don't know. Part of me doesn't want to give up this far into the series. So I might. Plus, I ended up getting, what was the last one? Kingdom of Ash, I think it was. I ended up getting that for like $1 on the Kindle ebook store a while back, and I feel like maybe I want to just finish it. This one is going to be hard for me to get into, I know, because it doesn't have the main cast of characters in it, but I might give this one another shot. I just don't know yet. I mean, I still own this, so it's not like I don't have a reason not to. Like, I didn't unhaul this with some of the other ones that I'm going to talk about, but I don't know. It's possible I'm going to give this one a second shot. Okay, so the next one is probably the most controversial one on this list because I know most people that read this series really, really love it. And unfortunately, again, I didn't dislike it, but I just had a very hard time relating to the characters. And again, when I can't relate to a character or characters, I have a hard time enjoying the book. And that series is The Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater. And I read the first one. I gave The Raven Boys, I think like a 3.5 or 4. It was okay. I felt it was a little slow. And again, didn't relate to a lot of the characters or any of them. I actually really did like the Blues family, like the mom and the aunts. Maybe it's because they're older. I don't know. I did like them. I thought that family dynamic was really good. But the rest of the book was just, I don't know, it was a little boring. I couldn't relate to any of the teenage characters in it. And again, that one I gave a 3.5 out of 4. But then I read The Dream Thieves, which is the second book, and everybody was saying how it's a much better book than the first one. So I was going into it thinking, okay, well, maybe I just need to read the next one, and I'm going to like it even more. But the problem was I didn't. I actually found that one to be even more boring. And I know everybody loves Rowan. I can see why he's a likable character, but I just couldn't. And I think I gave that one like a 2.5 or a 3 on Goodreads, and it just wasn't for me. This series is very, very well written. I will give Maggie Stiefvater that. It is a well-written book, and the characters are written well. The story is good, but I had a very hard time just being able to relate to anything that was going on. And so with that, I ended up DNF. Well, no, I ended up finishing The Dream Thieves, but then I decided to DNF the series after that. I decided not to read Blue Lily, Lily Blue, or The Raven King after that. Will I give this one a second chance? I don't know, to be honest. I know it's a very well-loved series on Booktube, but I just don't think it's right for me. I already unhauled the first 2 books. I actually donated them to my library, so I know that they're getting used. I know that, people are checking them out left and right. It's just not really for me. I don't think I'm going to give this one another shot. Maybe in a couple of years I will. I will say, though, like, the story itself is memorable. I do still remember parts of the story and think back to how well written it is. So, like, it's not that it's a bad book. It's just not really my cup of tea. So, I don't know. I don't know that I'm going to give that one another shot. It's kind of a maybe. It's a little bit less of a maybe than the Throne of Glass series is, even though I feel like the Throne of Glass series is not as well written. I don't know. I think it's just because I put so much time into that series that I kind of want to see it through, but at the same time, I don't want to waste my time. But anyway, enough about Throne of Glass. The next one on this list is the only non-YA series on here, and probably also going to be a little controversial because I know a lot of people liked it, and that is the Crazy Rich Asian series by Kevin Kwan. This one, again, not a bad book. It was okay. I did end up DNFing it though, and it's not necessarily the book's fault. It's the fact that I could not keep track of everything that was going on. There were so many points of views, so many different characters to keep track of. And it's just not really my genre. It's a contemporary / rom-com, which I don't read. As I said in other series, the only contemporary I've ever liked is With the Fire on High, which I have right here. So I think it's fine for people that like that kind of genre, that like rom-coms. It just wasn't for me. And I had a very hard time keeping track of all of the characters and all of the POVs that were in that book. So I ended up DNFing it. I did get that one from my library, so I didn't have to unhaul it or anything like that. If you like rom-coms, you probably will enjoy it, but it wasn't for me, and I do not plan on giving that one a second chance, just because it is just so far out of my element, out of my genre. So I don't really see a reason to give it another chance, and it was a library book, so I returned it, and I'm kind of over it at this point. By the way, if you hear my dog, she is right here. You can't see her. She's jumping on me. Hi, I'm trying to record. Hi, yes. Hi, yes, I'm trying to record. I'm trying to record. Come here. Come here. Come say hi. Oh, yes. Yes, I'm trying to record, and you're just being so cute. Yeah. Say hello, everybody. Hello, world. My name is Aqua. Hello. Hello, can I finish recording now? You're very cute, and I love you so much, but I need to finish recording. Bye. The next book series that I'm going to talk about is another YA, and this one is, I guess, a mystery / thriller, and that is the Stalking Jack the Ripper series by Carrie Maniscalco. This one, I really didn't like this one, and It wasn't so much that I had trouble relating to the character. I actually really did like the main character in this series, and well, I guess the two main characters, there's two of them. I actually really did like her and him, but I found this story to be incredibly predictable. I figured out who did it very early on, and then after that, it was just kind of annoying me that nobody else could figure it out and that they were all just kind of bumbling around. And yeah, so I know that there's other books in this series, but I've heard that they've been getting kind of mixed reviews. Some people like them, some people not so much. I hear that some of them are even more predictable than the first one, so given that I need my thrillers and my mysteries to really like hold my suspense, if I can predict stuff early on, it's really not a book series for me. I did unhaul this. I donated it to my library. I only had the first one. I donated it to my library. I don't plan on giving this one another shot. I have other mysteries and thrillers that I would rather read, so I am going to read those instead. By the way, if you hear a squeaky toy in the background, my dog is chewing on her little stuffed moose squeaky toy thing. The next series is another YA mystery slash thriller. I'm kind of seeing a little bit of a trend here. I have a feeling that YA thrillers are just not my cup of tea. I prefer the adult ones. This one I DNF'd as well. I tried reading it. Well, it was an audiobook. I tried listening to it last October when I was in, kind of the thriller slash mystery mood. And I ended up DNFing it after only about 2 or 3 hours of listening to it. And that is the Diviners series by Libba Bray. This one, it wasn't necessarily the story itself. Well, no, it was. It kind of was. I couldn't even take the main antagonist seriously, but the protagonist, the main character, was the most annoying person I have ever had the displeasure to read, ever. I just didn't like this book at all. The main character was very annoying there, and I get that it was taking place in the 20s, so the author was using a lot of like 20s slang and ways of speaking, and I feel like it was a little overused. Like I don't mind the every now and then, oh, that's the cat's pajamas or whatever it is that they were saying, but I felt like it was a little overused. And again, the main character was very annoying to me, and she was pretty much the reason that I ended up giving up on this series. I hear it is very spooky and very, great for Halloween, but it really wasn't for me. Will I give this one another shot? Possibly. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I did listen to this as an audiobook. So I'm wondering if maybe the main character will be less annoying if I read it as a physical copy. So I might pick this one up from my library and see if I have any of a different opinion if I'm reading it physical versus audio. So possibly for this one. And the final series that I gave up on is the Witchland series by... Give me a minute. Susan Dennard. I had to go look it up real quick because I couldn't remember what her name was. This series was actually fine. I think I gave it like a 3.5 or a 4 on Goodreads. I didn't dislike this series. I actually found that the relationship between the two female main characters was amazing. I really liked it. I've said it before. I love when books give two female main characters the chance to like build up their relationship and build each other up and not tear each other down. It was a very good relationship, and I did appreciate that, and I did like it. The story itself was just a little cliche and a little bland for me, and that's, I think, why I ended up deciding not to continue it. It was okay, but I really don't remember anything that happened in it. And it was just, it was an okay series, but it wasn't groundbreaking for YA fantasy. So will I give this one another shot? Probably not. I have plenty of other YA fantasies and adult epic fantasies to read that I would much rather give my time to. It was okay. It was good if you're trying to like get yourself into fantasy, but you're not a big fantasy reader in general. For me, somebody that loves high fantasy, epic fantasy, Brandon Sanderson type fantasy, it was just a little bit blah. So no, I'm not going to give that one another shot. I did already donate that book to my library as well, and I don't plan on continuing it. So that completes my list of series that I gave up on, and Aqua chewing her squeaky toy in the background, which hopefully wasn't too annoying, but she's so cute I can't kick her out of the office. So Hopefully that wasn't too bad for you. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed. What books have, or what series have you given up on? I'm sure that, you know, there are some of you out there that have. Let me know. I am curious which ones you did give up on and why. And were any of the books on my list your favorites? What did you think of my list? Have I deeply offended any of you with my opinions? But anyway, if you liked this video, please like and subscribe. If you have not, you can leave a comment below, and you can also follow me on social media, which I have linked down below, and I will see you next time.